let's back up a second here, Samantha, and let's talk about what you and I had discussed. Are you there, Samantha?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm hearing a bunch of background noise. That's why I was like, okay.
Can you hear me now?
So, yes, I can.
All right.
You remember in 2016, the discussion that we had before we discovered that now President Donald Trump was entering the presidential race. When we had talked about the partnership that we were trying to develop with United Healthcare.
Yes, for low-income individuals. Yes.
Right. That is when, in 2016, we began a conversation about how they were talking about doing away with what they call Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
At that time,
there's already people, even with those things in place, there's already people that fall through the cracks. Like their employer doesn't have insurance or it's sucky insurance, but they make too much for general assistance or Minnesota Care, and the stuff on the marketplace is still pretty unaffordable at times for some people. There's that in between group.
Right, and see, and you worked in that industry for a while there, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So can you give us a little bit of a rundown so that the listening audience can better understand what you guys did and what we were trying to do to make it better for them through our deal that we were trying to work with United Healthcare?
Well, what I did is I was a navigator, and so I would go ahead and help people sign up on the state platform for medical and dental insurance. Some people didn't qualify for medical assistance, which is a federal program, or Minnesota Care, which is paid by state grant funding, because they made too much money on paper. However, when you look at their budgets and their household size and what they pay for rent and what they pay for food and, factoring in all their incomes, $1,000 a month for a family of four for medical and dental isn't really affordable. I mean, they say it is, but it's not really affordable. So there's this whole group of people that are going to either be penalized for not getting insurance at all or have to take insurance out and have to make a decision. Can I get this medication this month? Can I pay my rent this month or my house bill? Or how much food can I actually get? Or I guess we'll be going to the food shelf and getting sick of seeing that, we want to be able to provide, another service that helps individuals who really could use that extra benefit and could qualify for help through the organization and through the United Healthcare program we were going to be offering, which was going to be a mass group coverage plan for people who have low to moderate low income.
And that is true. And the discussion that the gentleman that I had the conversation with, who presented it to then President and CEO of United Healthcare Group, it would have covered every area where Ex-Offenders Resource Network was developing a chapter in that particular state. So it would have been nationwide. And,
which would have been groundbreaking.
But no, that it would have been. But the talks are going to be resumed, but also want to give a big thank you and a shout out to Ms. Marilyn Williams at United Healthcare Group for making that connection. Without her, we could not have even gotten that far into having that conversation. So
right.
This
she
is
put
a
the
shout
plugs
out to
in.
Marilyn Williams.
Yes,
She did. So, and I keep telling her, that I owe her dinner. She said, no, James, you don't owe me anything. I appreciate what you're doing. I said, no, but you still need to be rewarded for your efforts. And also today, we were supposed to have a partner, a business partner of ours, Rohan Sharma from New Delhi, India, calling in. But there seems to be some complications with that call getting through. So we're going to have to bring this up at a later time. But Rohan is our Chief Technical Officer. He's the one who's going to bring us up to date on. Pardon me?
I was just going to say, let me say what a talented and skilled individual he is. He knows quite a bit about development and security. He's really, really excellent at what he does.
Right. You know, and he holds well, he's just about completing his doctorate program, and this man knows everything there is about a computer. So, you know, he's a phenomenal individual. But also, today we're going to talk about a controversy that is now headed into the United States Supreme Court in the case Austin versus United States. This is a matter.
Let me make a couple of points about this case before you get too far into it, James. The individual in question in this case that brought it forward had possession of the items in her own content. Now, I'm not saying it's okay to go into other people's stuff, but if you're going to be in a relationship and have communal access to your private data, and then when the relationship ends, not take precautions to protect that data, knowing that they could access it, you know, you have some culpability in that. So there are some facets to that case which make it unique versus other cases that are also going on simultaneously as this is being battled out in the Supreme Court. Now, James, I'm sorry for the interruption, but I did want to make a few distinctions in what you're about to say for people to keep in mind.
I appreciate that, Samantha. All right. Well, what I was going to get into is the case is involved what is known as revenge porn. And the case is whether or not the release of the photos, images, and information is protected under the free speech clause of the U.S. Constitution. However, this is totally different and distinct from a situation in which earlier this year I was invited to produce a short film for Minnesota Film Festival. And the title of it was Unseen. So we had to think of what was unseen and filmed and recorded. So I'd spoken with a young lady, and she told me her story, which I knew of, and it happens to deal with this very same issue of revenge porn. And the name of the film was The Unseen Effects of Revenge Porn. However, prior to its release, which it could not be released without a musical score, and the music composer backed out of it for religious reasons, merely because it had the word porn in there. But
which is really unfortunate because it's judging. Yeah.
I'll let Samantha tell you more about the film.
Well, revenge porn is a very controversial topic because it places a lot of onus on the victim as well as the perpetrator. And I understand that everybody in that situation has a degree of ownership within that. However, in the particular context of the film, I am the individual in the film. I'm going to come right out and own that. And I know many of you are gasping and clutching your pearls and, kind of excited.
Thank you,
excited
Samantha.
about that.
I didn't want to throw you under the bus, but I'm glad that. Thank you for bringing that out. That
no,
you are the subject of the documentary film.
Yeah, I'm gonna own that. I was in a relationship for 6 years, and we have a child together. And there are many things that happened during the course of that relationship. A lot of emotional abuse and some physical abuse. And later on, through working through the things that I went through, I've discovered that individual most likely has narcissistic personality disorder. Bless you. Most likely has narcissistic personality disorder, in the way that disordered individual engages in relationships. The person that they're engaged in a quote-unquote relationship with, their brain is rewired, similar to that of cocaine addiction. Now, this was a study, and I can't remember which educational institution had done this study, but they looked at MRIs and fMRIs of individuals in this relationship and that of people who have substance abuse disorder with cocaine as their drug of choice. And they found a lot of similarities, and it's because the way narcissists engage in relationships, they love bomb, and then they devalue, and then they discard, and then all of a sudden when they need to feed on your emotion again, because they suck emotion and they suck reaction and they suck kind of chaos out of you, they'll start love bombing again, and you think, oh, it's back to this perfect thing. Well, this relationship, this individual was one way until he got me where he wanted me in the relationship. And then all of a sudden he flipped. And so slowly but surely he started engaging in these things. And when I finally was able to leave, which it took me a year to plan my leaving this individual because of these threats and the level of fear that had been conditioned into me and indoctrinated into my brain. It took me a year to plan this departure from the relationship. And when I finally did, these private photos that he had, oh, come on, they're just for me. It's when you're having your menstrual cycle, or when you're too tired, or you're sick, or you're with the baby. Come on, you don't want me going on porn sites, do you? You don't want me talking to other women, do you? So it's almost like this, pack your bags, we're going on a guilt trip, and if you don't come along, then it's your fault. And, reluctantly, I agreed to do things to keep peace in the relationship because, I didn't want it to fail. And, we were engaged, we have this kid. What could go wrong? I'm the mother of his child. He's not going to betray me like that. But the moment I left, everything was online. I had no access to this content. He supposedly had it locked down, encrypted on a file that on a computer he had to use his thumbprint to get into. I mean, it was super high-tech gizmo. He's in IT for a living. And, wow, I mean, I thought, oh, okay, I would be protected. But I wasn't.
Sam.
Yes.
How many sites was this actually on?
Well, it's funny, James, because it started just as revenge porn, and it escalated to, like, blogs and fake court documents and altered information, and involved my other children and non-redacted information posted to the internet. But it all started from revenge porn, and when the result wasn't what he wanted from that, in 2015, when I renewed the order for protection, I got an order for protection immediately when I found the information in 2013. And so this has been going on for 7 years, right? So 2013, wow. I get this order for protection. 2015, I go to renew my order for protection because at that time it had blown up to over 52 websites. 52.
Wow.
And I'm talking revenge porn.